Hello and welcome to Colto's Corner. This is a series where I talk about various topics that I find interesting, from philosophy, history, conspiracy, and everything in between. This week, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite stories from history, Bacon's Rebellion. And no, not the greasy pig product, but Nathaniel Bacon Jr. You see, back in 1676, 100 years before the American Revolution, the colony of Virginia was split up into two major sections, the Piedmont and the Tidewater. The Tidewater refers to the eastern half of the colony where the wealthy settlers lived and had all their plantations. The Piedmont, however, was the frontier, with harder living conditions and constant Indian attacks. It's also important to note that many of the settlers in the Piedmont were former indentured servants, which were basically temporary slaves. So Nathaniel Bacon finally got really fed up with Governor Berkeley because he was not doing anything about the Native American attacks and decided to take matters into his own hands. He went around, gathered up a bunch of men, basically said, "Hey, follow me. I'll get you some booze if you just follow me, and we'll go, take care of business." And everyone was like, "All right, yeah, that works." So basically, Bacon just got all these guys about different accounts, say 500, some say 1,000. They marched to Jamestown and they burned the city down. They just burned it down. They take a bunch of torches to a bunch of buildings and they just burn to the ground. And then at the end of it, Governor Berkeley, he flees the city, goes across the river, just goes and hides out in one of the forts. And they put Nathaniel Bacon in as the governor of Virginia. Now, the greatest part of this story is that Bacon was only governor for literally 5 weeks before he died of dysentery. He just randomly got sick and died. And I just think it's really funny how hyped up this was. And so after this, everything just fell apart. It's like, have you ever been to a party and the guy there is like, he's the guy supplying all the alcohol, and he's like, "Oh, we got the keg, got everything, man. Don't even worry about it. This party's gonna be going for just the longest time." But eventually he gets too drunk, he's passed out, the keg's empty, everyone's kind of starting to sober up, and you're realizing, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. This isn't fun anymore. It's basically a frat party gone wrong. All these guys are now sobered up because their leader just died. They're disorganized, and the whole rebellion just falls apart. Everyone either quits or is just quickly defeated by the British. And that's Bacon's Rebellion. That's it. It literally was a month and a half. Over a month, actually. So looking back on it, who the hell cares? A bunch of drunk rednecks burnt down a city. What's wrong with that? I mean, have you seen the South? Well, remember when I mentioned that all the rebels were former indentured servants? After this, all the rich people were really scared of having indentured servants because they're like, hey, these guys will be treated like trash for 5 to 10 years. When they get free, they're angry and they can take up arms against us. But who can't, who we don't have to go let free, are the African slaves, which at the time weren't really that big of a thing. But everyone after this event, they switched from indentured servants to slaves. And so, yeah, that's right. Nathaniel Bacon basically kickstarted slavery. And this is why I love history. It's why one of my favorite subjects in school, and I even look into it now that I'm done with school. It's just ridiculous. Look how much our society today is still greatly affected by what Nathaniel Bacon and a bunch of drunk, angry dudes did in just a little over a month. And all of our history could be traced back to this moment. And I love it. So basically, take this little history lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I have a couple more stories from American history that I know really well, and also a bunch of other topics I want to look into and I'll be able to talk to you about. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know with a like or comment. Give me some suggestions, some feedback. I really want to hear what you guys think of this. And if everyone likes it, I'll keep doing it. Also, be sure to subscribe to Ice Gauntlet. We're going to put out new content, hopefully. Trying to get it all daily. And if you like me, you think I'm a cool dude, go like my own channel. The link should be either in the annotation or in the description. And always, thanks for watching.